Morning, guys. Welcome to Coffee Chat. Wow, what an absolutely fabulous day it is outside. It just smells so amazingly just fresh and clean out. And on top of that, got a nice breeze coming in. It's just amazing. Well, guys, I'll tell you what. One thing I'm looking forward to with this summer and the things heating up and actually the busyness of life slowing down is getting out there and doing my walks again. I absolutely loved it and cannot wait. With all the busyness and, of course, all the medical appointments that Judy's been having to go to, and, of course, dealing with mom and whatnot, we just haven't been able to do that. And I've been having to do my videos. They've been coming out a little bit later because, of course, I'm doing them in the evening after everything else and the family's all settled down. But boy, I'll tell you, I can't wait till I can get back outside and go on our walks and just enjoy nature and share this digital asset space outside with y'all like we were doing there in just earlier in the year there. And I can't wait. Well, guys, the article that I was reading this morning, boy, I'll tell you what. Elizabeth Warren came out last year and tabled a piece of legislation, and this article's talking about it. And the legislation that she was dealing with was actually attacking not just crypto exchanges, but crypto wallets themselves. Yep, she's going after self-custody in a major, major way. What this legislation is proposing, guys, is putting on all of these wallet manufacturers, these hardware wallet manufacturers, the same conditions that are on money service business and banks. And in such a capacity that it would make self-custody almost to no effect. It really, really wouldn't have the same impacts that we have now. Because look, guys, right now, hey, if you want to go into your bank and you send like $3,000 or $10,000 or whatever, well, the bank has to file a report with the government and this and this and that. And of course, it's all this AML rules and stuff like that, which I get. I understand that. But of course, if you go in and make too many cash deposits or too many cash withdrawals, well, hey, that raises red flags. I remember that from, the businesses that, I would be investigating as a federal officer and stuff like that. And of course, there is some real reasons why that's important. Now, in self-custody, think of this, guys. If you were to send somebody $50,000 worth of crypto, you could do it at 2:30 in the morning, and you could do it like in 3 to 5 seconds and not filing any kind of report whatsoever because it's the value of the crypto itself and you're not sending cash, right? Well, they don't want us to have that ability to do that because, of course, they're coming out with all these reasons that we have heard from time immemorial of how nefarious all this crypto is and it's being used. Look, guys, it's the most trackable transactions that you could possibly find. And yet they're trying to make it sound like, oh, well, only bad people would want to have access to things like that. And that is completely not true. But needless to say, the legislation that's being tabled with respect to regulatory frameworks regarding self-custody, it is changing in a massive, massive way. Now, think about this, guys. Let's say a person was going through bankruptcy, and I'll tell you what, bankruptcy fraud is it is really ridiculous how much fraud goes on in bankruptcy. And what do we mean by bankruptcy fraud? Well, guys, what ends up happening a lot of times, people will actually, they'll get all deep in the debt. Then what some of them will do is they'll start sheltering assets, liquidating assets, sheltering assets, taking those funds, putting them in places where the trustee couldn't find them. Then they file for bankruptcy because they say they're insolvent, so that they get out from underneath all those debts, and all the unsecured creditors, they get really, really hosed in that capacity. And the truth of the matter is, because when you go bankrupt, guys, you get a trustee who is the administrator of your estate, and all your worldwide assets, they administer to the benefit of your creditors. Well, they don't know about your digital assets. They're sitting there on your hardware wallet and all this and that. That is a form of bankruptcy fraud. And of course, with self-custody, there's no way of really, kind of like dealing with that. And so this is where I think what we're going to see is institutional custody come down the road for retail investors. Now, guys, that's all going to be there are going to be some positives there. And the positives are going to be this. When you see institutional custody come in, you're getting institutional adoption. And boy, I'll tell you, those of us that have been in this space early on, we are going to be so thankful that we got into it when we did, because, hey, we are going to see some major price appreciation when you get that massive institutional adoption. And with it is going to come institutional custody. So just watch and see. If you don't see a narrative out there coming up with respect to maybe limiting how much can be held in self-custody, how it has to be managed, what reports need to be filed, and the technology that's going to be implemented to track and trace who holds what, KYC, AML, and all that kind of stuff with your hardware wallet. We're not just talking about exchanges, hardware wallet. In fact, the title of this article is that by 2024, Elizabeth Warren wants police at your door if you hold a crypto wallet. That's the title of the article. So you can kind of guess, the tenor in which it was written. But needless to say, you got to take it with a grain of salt and understand there's two sides to this argument here. But just be prepared and wait and see if self-custody is not going to be challenged down the road. I think it is in a big way. Now, second article I was reading, boy, I'll tell you, this one was talking about, hey, forget about things changing gradually. It's going to be a suddenly. And I absolutely 100% agree. Guys, when you're gradually seeing hyperinflation, you're gradually seeing, big impacts in the economy and this and that, you're gradually seeing a transition to CBDCs. Nope, guys. This article is like what we have always been saying in this digital asset space, is talking about switches being flipped, right? And it's going to happen suddenly. And in that capacity, I genuinely believe we are going to see a sudden transition into this new digital economy in a massive way. Guys, we're literally seeing it with the regulatory frameworks in Europe, the UAE, and other places in the world. I think we're going to get a major regulatory framework for digital assets right here in the Western world, in the United States and Canada and things like that. And what you're going to see there, guys, is you're going to see a major switch being flipped, and we're going to be moved right into those central bank digital currencies and this new digital economy. And it's going to happen lightning fast, way faster than most people are even going to realize. Now, for a lot of folks that are completely oblivious to this space, it's going to almost be like a bang moment, and they will integrate it in a seamless way so it doesn't disrupt the whole economy and population. But guys, I'm telling you, it is coming, and it's coming so much faster than what most folks think. And it's going to be one of the biggest transitions that we have ever seen in the terms of the movement of wealth in probably the history of the world. It is going to be something phenomenal. People thought that the Industrial Revolution was a major change. And I remember when, back in the 70s, they were talking about something that they believed people would suffer from with the whole technological movement. It was called future shock. And they thought this was going to have a major psychological impact on people. But we've watched and we've seen a lot of people just kind of adjust to a lot of the future that's happening with respect to, how we do our social media, what we're doing right here, right now, and all kinds of other things like that. They thought that was going to cause but it didn't, did it? I'm telling you, a move into a digital economy is not going to be as upsetting as what a lot of people think. In fact, it's probably going to bring a bunch of conveniences that most people have been hoping for a long time. And you're going to see an adoption like you have never seen. And that's where you're going to just be being thankful for your blessings of being in this space as early as you did. That's at least what I think. Well, guys, of course, it is Friday, and Friday means the weekend's upon us, and weekends, in my estimation, should be for your family and friends. And I sure hope that you actually get to spend your weekend with your family and friends. Get out there and enjoy nature. It is absolutely amazing. And having the ability maybe to, go out with your wife or your sweetheart or your husband or whatever, and just have some time together and things like that. I'm telling you, with how fast-paced things are, and especially how we see them in this space, it is so easy to get all that tension out on the inside, and you got to get that out of there. That is for sure. Now, something else before I go, guys, is this. I've had a lot of people write me say, "Hey, I'm not getting your emails are coming in through spam. They can contact me and tell." Look, guys, I don't know why it is, but from time to time, emails end up going into the spam folder or the junk box or whatever. I do write you back, so just check there. You might find it in there. That's one place for sure, and see if it's there because I do respond, and it may take me a day or two sometimes to get to all of them, but I definitely do get to them and things like that. And oh, hey, a lot of people have been asking for an update on Judy. Well, she is slowly recovering. It has been a major deal for her, of course, because the injury that she sustained was relatively severe, and she's been going to all these therapies, ever since, and it's keep progressing. And they're saying that, hey, probably going to take maybe, a few more months at least before she notices some really big changes and starts recovering in a massive way. But we're believing for that healing out there to come and that type of thing. And also, hey, with respect to our mom who's 92 and living with us, and she's been undergoing hospice care for her 4-stage cancer and things like that, and the pain has been progressing, and we're just asking that God would just release her from that. She's wanting to go home. She's excited about it. She's not afraid, and that she would just have a great and peaceful transition. And if you could pray for that, that would be absolutely amazing. Well, guys, I'll tell you what, I sure hope you're having a great day. Until later on, when we're releasing our video later on tonight, I hope you have a fantastic one. And until then, guys, take care.